Rock music is a lucrative game, and it'll come as no surprise to find that the world's most prolific rock musicians have made a ton of money over the years. But who is the wealthiest of them all, and just what are they doing with all that money? Dave Matthews is a self-taught musician who formed his first and only band, the Dave Matthews Band, in 1991. And to this day, all of the band's original members are still with him. Their first gig was for a private party in Charlottesville, Virginia, atop a downtown warehouse. 3 years later, the band released their first studio album, Under the Table and Dreaming, which quickly moved up to number 11 on Billboard's Top 200 chart. Since that first album, the Dave Matthews Band has produced a number of studio albums and live records. Their second live album, Live at Red Rocks, debuted at number 3 on the charts without any marketing efforts whatsoever and sold over 3 million copies. Today, a number of other musicians have joined the original lineup, and the group in total have a combined net worth of $51 million. Notable too is that the group supports some 22 charities and foundations, including the band's own Bama Works Fund, which supports at-risk youth and numerous other charitable programs around Charlottesville. In 1972, musicians Don Henley and Glenn Frey were playing with Linda Ronstadt's band when they decided to form a musical group of their own. 2 more musicians, Bernie Leadon and Randy Meisner, joined them to form the Eagles, who released their first album that same year. Soon, America was singing along to such epic songs as Take It Easy and later the epic Hotel California. In 1998, they were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, by which point the group consisted of Henley, Frey, Leadon, and Meisner, as well as Joe Walsh, Don Felder, and Timothy B. Schmidt. Following the sad death of Glenn Frey in 2016, the Eagles issued a statement saying, "Words can neither describe our sorrow nor our love and respect for all that he has given to us, his family, the music community, and millions of fans worldwide." Nonetheless, the Eagles have continued to tour, and some estimates place the band's net worth at $60 million. However, that doesn't count Don Henley's own net worth of $250 million, nor Joe Walsh, who has some $75 million. Much of Henley's money has contributed towards charitable causes, such as the Walden Woods Project, an organization he set up in 1990 to preserve the historic Walden Pond area in Concord, Massachusetts. will.i.am, Apple Diab, Jamie Taboo Gomez, and Kim Hill first formed Black Eyed Pods in 1995, but soon changed the name of the band to the Black Eyed Peas. Their first album was produced in 1998, but it wasn't until 2003, after Hill had been replaced by Fergie, that the group really took off. To date, the band has produced 9 albums and dozens of singles, selling some 76 million records. Of those, their 2005 album, Monkey Business, has gone platinum 4 times. And there's more. In 2009, the Black Eyed Peas made music history by remaining number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart for 20 consecutive weeks in a row. Their efforts have awarded them an amazing 15 nominations and 6 wins at the annual Grammy Awards. The band is now worth $61 million and donates regularly to 17 different charities. The Black Eyed Peas Peapod Foundation has put on concerts around the world, and their cover of John Lennon's Power to the People was released on a tribute album for Amnesty International. A native of New Jersey, Jon Bon Jovi was working at his cousin's music studio when he got his first gig at age 17. In 1983, he formed his own band, the imaginatively titled Bon Jovi. The band owed its popularity to its knack for crafting punchy power ballads, filled with catchy melodies and crazy guitar riffs. By the mid-1980s, Bon Jovi was not only one of the hottest hair bands around, but quickly became one of the biggest American rock bands of all time. Even better, the group has since demonstrated the know-how to change their music to fit audience tastes over time. Bon Jovi actually once made $200 million alone from just 74 shows. The band itself is now worth some $125 million in total, but that doesn't include Jon Bon Jovi's personal wealth. The money enabled Jon Bon Jovi to form his own Jon Bon Jovi Soul Foundation to help feed the hungry in New Jersey, which now has 2 Soul Kitchen locations. As for Jon Bon Jovi, he still works at the Soul Kitchen, where he keeps things ticking over by washing the dishes. His own net worth is estimated to be around $410 million.
The way to feel good is to do good. You know, find your good and do it.
In 1976, Irish teenager Larry Mullen Jr. posted a note on his school's bulletin board seeking musicians for a band. 4 boys answered: Paul Hewson, David Evans, Adam Clayton, and Dick Evans, who left the group in 1978. After throwing around a handful of names for the band, the boys finally settled on U2. And although some of U2's members have come and gone over the years, the group has still been incredibly successful. In fact, U2 grossed a staggering $1.67 billion in ticket sales between 1990 and 2016, and over the past 3 years they have earned an additional $193 million. Their achievements got them inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2005, the same year Time magazine named Bono one of the Persons of the Year. And in 2007, Queen Elizabeth dubbed him a knight. Why? Because Bono, who is worth almost $700 million himself, is a champion of global charity efforts. Bono's main causes are One and Red. The former was set up to help fight extreme poverty, while the latter combats AIDS and other diseases. Many would argue that Coldplay doesn't quite fit in with the average music landscape. They aren't quite rock or indie, and they're certainly not punk. But that's okay, according to guitarist John Buckland, who, along with Guy Berryman, Will Champion, and Chris Martin, have created a sound quite like no other. These veteran musicians first formed in London in 1996, recorded 2 albums on their own, and signed with Parlophone Records in 1999. It was their 4th album, 2000's Parachutes, that really shot them to stardom. 3 multi-platinum albums later, Coldplay found themselves playing the Super Bowl in 2016. Sadly, the band became a sort of joke even as they shared the stage with Bruno Mars and Beyoncé, the latter still recovering from her 2013 Super Bowl wardrobe malfunction. Undaunted, the band masqueraded under the name Los Unidades in 2017, went on to win awards from MTV and the Grammys, and have sold over 100 million records all over the world. These days, Coldplay is reportedly worth a cool $475 million. Known for their epic harmonies and jamming guitar riffs, Aerosmith's beginnings date back to 1970, when singer Steven Tyler, bassist Tom Hamilton, and guitarist Ray Tabano and Joe Perry came together to form one of America's hottest rock bands. In 1972, they landed their first record deal with Columbia Records, but it wasn't until 1975 that their 3rd album, Toys in the Attic, brought them serious success. And that's when the party started. By the early 1980s, the musicians had fully embraced the rock and roll lifestyle. Tyler would later explain that he blew some $20 million on drugs, even keeping a medicine cabinet on stage. In 2011, he said, "I snorted my Porsche, my plane, and my house." Nobody seems to have a tab on just how much Aerosmith is worth nowadays, but band members Tyler, Tom Hamilton, Joey Kramer, and Brad Whitford are each worth between $40 and $130 million. The band still tours to this day. In 1965, the band T-Set, headed by David Gilmour, Roger "Sid" Barrett, and Roger Waters, booked a gig at a Royal Air Force base. To their horror, the musicians discovered there was already a band by that name on the roster. The boys did some quick thinking, grabbing the names of 2 blues artists, Pinkney "Pink" Anderson and Floyd Council, and Pink Floyd was born. And while one of their biggest hits, Money, is quick to denounce the evils of cash, the band have managed to rake plenty of it in themselves. Following the epic success of The Wall in 1979, Pink Floyd sold nearly 121 million albums across the globe. The band itself says record sales are now around 250 million, and although Pink Floyd broke up in the 1990s, their collective net worth remains at over $800 million. David Gilmour continues to release music today, as does Roger Waters, who is worth $310 million alone. The guitarist also contributes a portion of his earnings to 10 charities dedicated to some 17 causes, from needy children to conservation to peace. A popular saying has taken off in the last few years: we need to start worrying about what kind of world we are going to leave for Keith Richards. That's a testament to the fact that the musician and his bandmate Mick Jagger were both born in 1943 and are still rocking to this day. Along with Charlie Watts, they are the three remaining original members of the Rolling Stones, arguably the longest performing rock band of all time. Formed in 1962, the British group first stormed America in 1964 and remains one of the most familiar names in music. Over time, the Rolling Stones have weathered drug charges, concert violence, members' deaths, and more. But they also have been inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, won 3 Grammys, and watched Jagger get knighted in 2003. And let's not forget nearly 100 million record sales worldwide, bringing their estimated net worth to over $900 million. The band is still touring, of course, and reportedly pulls in over $800,000 on a good month. Lars Ulrich formed Metallica in 1981 and was soon joined by bass player Ron McGovney, singer-guitarist James Hetfield, and lead guitarist Dave Mustaine. After one self-released album in 1982, the band signed with a number of different labels over the years to produce dozens of albums with various band members. It hasn't always been easy though. In 1986, a tour bus crash in Sweden killed bassist Cliff Burton after the vehicle rolled off the road. In the years since Burton's death, Metallica has made headlines for a number of other reasons. In 2000, for instance, the band discovered that their song I Disappear from the Mission Impossible 2 soundtrack was on the file-sharing site Napster before it was even released.
I got a call from our office like the next day. It traces back to something called Napster, and we were like, well, if they're with us, we'll with them.
Metallica sued for copyright infringement. Napster was shut down, and thousands of music lovers, including Metallica fans, lost their source of illegal music. Then, in 2017, the band formed All Within My Hands, a foundation dedicated to helping out local charities. Today, the band is worth around $1 billion and shows no signs of slowing down. Yeah, shocker. The Beatles are the richest band in the world. The story of Paul McCartney, John Lennon, George Harrison, and Ringo Starr dates back to 1957 when McCartney joined Lennon's group, the Quarrymen. Add Harrison a short time later and Starr in the 1960s, and the Fab Four was born. Fast forward through dozens of group and solo albums, 7 Grammy Awards, concerts, movies, and other feats, and it's no wonder that they're generally considered the founding fathers of pop and rock. Today, the Beatles' combined net worth amounts to roughly $1.2 billion. During their lifetimes, both John Lennon, who died in 1980, and George Harrison, who died in 2001, were charitable in their own rights. Notably, Harrison's The Material World Foundation, which started in 1973, still makes donations to numerous causes. Paul McCartney, meanwhile, continues to support upwards of 45 charities. As for Ringo Starr, 100% of his proceeds today go to his own Lotus Foundation to assist a bevy of causes, including abused women, children, and animals. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more grunge videos about your favorite stuff are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.